Hello Internet, welcome to my leg day, or as Elvis might say, welcome to my world. As you can see, I'm starting with my belt squat here. This first set is 190 pounds. My last set, I worked up to 220 pounds. I was going to say 225 because that's just what you're used to, but anyway, that's 2 plates. But in belt squat land, it's obviously very different. 220 pounds for my final set. First time using that weight, I got a nice set of 7 and felt very great. So happy with the progress there. Then I move on to Bulgarian split squats, but I still use my belt squat to do them, and honestly I love that movement. I don't see it too often, but I think it's fantastic. I think more people should give it a try if they have a belt squat and some area or space in the back to even set that up. So I absolutely love that variation. I wouldn't necessarily say it's better or more effective than the other version that I did if you watch my other leg day where I'm just holding on to the dip handles with a dumbbell. I like both of them. I like to switch it up. I think they're both important. I also do single leg RDLs. And you may note I guess it's probably hard to tell in the video, but when I do my single leg dumbbell RDLs, something that I watched again in the Glute Guru channel is that he kind of like twists a little bit at the bottom, thinking like dumbbell to pinky toe, and then at the top, twist kind of up, squeeze to then the big toe. Hopefully you can understand what I mean. He explains it perfectly, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about or you can't really tell from my video, please check out the Glute Guru. Glute Guru. Obviously, it's an old video because he doesn't really make new videos. And he was doing it with a landmine variation, a single leg RDL on the landmine. But I found that to be a little bit awkward and grip was too much of an issue and that sort of thing. So I do what he recommended, which is the dumbbell. It feels really, really good. Just that slight little twist. I just makes it feel a little bit more effective in my mind. But I mean, tinker around, whatever works best for you. You might think it feels shitty. Oops, crappy. Then I did a superset of my hip abduction machine, supersetted with my back extension or 45-degree hyper or whatever you want to call it. I do it with a glute emphasis. And I also did my leg extension machine just for one set, as many reps as possible. All in all, it was a super awesome leg workout. I'm very happy with how everything went and how everything felt today. I guess I'm glad that you could be here joining me. I would also like to note that I'm acknowledging today is Sunday. The week is approacheth, which may be dreadful for a lot of people, but I am very excited because I want to see what happens with the job. But I've decided to just be at peace with what I've done. I put 300% into the whole hiring process, and I'm okay with what I did. So the outcome is no longer in my control. I feel just at peace inside, I guess. But I'm sure that will drastically change depending if the outcome is negative. You heard it here first, but I'm probably full of crap. But this is just how I feel in this exact moment. And that's just okay. That is the way that it is. So in this moment, I'm calm and I'm at peace. So we'll just leave it at that. I guess, that's something that I could kind of touch on a little bit. The way that the job employment industry is, I don't know if anybody has been looking for a job in this day and age, or if you know what I'm talking about. It's nasty out there. It's crazy out there, and I've been experiencing it. I guess the awkward thing is like, what do I tell you guys? Because I have some new subscribers, and what do my old subscribers not want to hear anymore? Because I've already talked about it. But I guess on that, as a side note, I have had a few comments that would like me to do a gym tour, which I've done a million times already. And my other subscribers have seen it. So I don't know how everybody would feel. Please let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing that, even if it may be a little bit of a repeat for you. If you'd like me to make a video like that, surely I could talk about it a million times over and over again. I don't care. It's that I don't want my old subscribers, what was that? The George, because the summer of George, the two worlds cannot collide. I'm talking about my old subscribers and my new subscribers, but that really made no sense. Anyway, sorry everybody. Sometimes commentaries are a little hard to get out when your brain has 5 million thoughts coming at you all at once. What I was trying to talk about is how awful it is to try to find work in this day and age. And the industry that I wanted to get into aside, again, as repeating myself, anybody that was part of my channel before I went private knows that me trying to become a personal trainer in this world was god awful. It was a horrible, horrible experience that left me just feeling sick inside, and not anything that I would recommend anybody else pursue. But that's, obviously my biased opinion because of what happened in my particular situation. I would caution people, holy crap, this is terrible. This is disgusting. You don't want to get into this industry. Gross, gross, gross. Other people may have done it and found it great and easy and not have encountered any of the issues that I encountered. And that is probably, to be honest, maybe a little bit more likely. Sometimes my situations in life are a little bit tumbly, all over the place, weird. And so, take it with a grain of salt. I think of an example. If you can imagine in your head, we call it Klondike Days. It is a large summer fair with rides and such. And this was over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, maybe something like that. I had a young son at the time. Now I have an old son. I don't want to say I don't have a son anymore. I have an old son now who's 19. I had a young son at this time. We went to the fair. There's one of those giant slides where you sit on a potato sack or whatever. They call it a magic carpet ride. And everybody's going down it. The adults are going down it. My son wants me to go down it. So I go down it. We go separate. We have our own potato sack. I go down it, and somehow I get detached from my sack. I'm flipping and flopping all over the place, smacking myself, hurting my body, hurting my face, needing a chiropractor adjustment, even getting down to the bottom, and the staff being like, oh my gosh, nobody else had that experience going down that slide. And then, of course, my son goes down the slide and he has a perfect experience. and then he goes up again. I'll sit this one out, hun. You go. It's that's kind of the metaphor that I feel for life. That just seems to be the way that it is. People are doing things easily, smooth sailing, and I'm just bumping all the way around. So I could use that to explain my personal trainer situation in a really long, drawn out, boring way. But so I'll say that personally, that's that. But that aside, just the way that the crazy things are that when other jobs that I tried to look for when the personal training thing didn't work out, it's an absolute nightmare, hell on earth experience. And my heart goes out to anybody else that has been going through this or is going through this or that sees no end in sight to this, because it's it blows my mind, and it's hard not to get angry. You want to yell at employers. It's hard not to get angry because, for one, okay, you get ghosted constantly. And I don't just mean, okay, you submit an application and they don't say anything back to you. You expect that. That's not how it used to be anyway, but I expect that level of ghosting. But you get ghosted at every step of the way. It doesn't matter if you've had an interview. It doesn't matter if you've had a pre-screen. It doesn't matter if you've done this or that or the other thing, or you think you're going to get it. You still could very likely, more chance than not, still end up being ghosted. And I had that experience. And it was ironically enough, the Canadian Mental Health Association, where I went through a job. I went to an interview in person, and they said they'd let me know either way, and they said a day they'd let me know, and they never let me know. I sent multiple emails that they ignored. I tried to call the chick because I was just so infuriated that I knew the answer, obviously, but tell it to me. What is your problem? You say you care about mental health. That was the biggest scam. Oh, anyways, I still hate that place. I wish I could rate it poorly, but I can't because I never worked there. But I would go on Glassdoor if I had worked there, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, terrible experience, but that's very, very common. So you have those kinds of situations where employers just don't treat you like people, I think could sum it up quite well. But also the job ads themselves, where it's the job descriptions seem insane, where it's they break it down into different categories of all the things you're going to do. It's this is going to be the customer part of your role. This is going to be the administrative part of your role. And then there's going to be some other completely random thing where it's and this is going to be the maintenance part of your role, where you are literally doing the job of 6 people in this really, really long, never-ending description of all of your duties. You're barely getting paid above minimum wage. And what people... They're looking for a unicorn. Somehow they expect somebody to have every single type of this experience and multiple years of every single thing. What person how do you expect to find that one person? And if there's that one person out there that does have this huge eclectic mix of experience, you expect them to also be able to do all of those things for minimum wage. And then, of course, they throw in, like, this is not a full list of... So what else? What the hell else might you be doing? Like, that to me is just infuriating. And the unreasonable education requirements for things like, I saw for a server for Boston Pizza that they wanted you to have a master's degree and a bachelor's degree for $15 an hour to work at Boston Pizza. And then it's like, when they have these education requirements and they're paying you horribly, it's no wonder that then this job posting is posted over and over and over again, because then they're hiring people that should be earning a lot more and having much better positions, that eventually then find those positions maybe within a month's time, and then they have to make the job posting again. It's like they want you to be overqualified and they want to underpay you, and then all of a sudden they turn around and there's huge turnover at the position, and then they have to repost it again, yet they want the same unreasonable qualification, and it just goes over and over and over again. And it's like they never stop to think, like, maybe we should kind of pay more attention to what this role actually is. Maybe we should have an actual idea of what this role is, for one thing, instead of just throwing like a kitchen sink mixture in this ad. We should figure out what the job is, and we should figure out what really somebody needs to have to get this job, and then we should figure out like a fair pay for what this job is. Like, could that possibly be a thing? No, they'd rather just constantly be hiring, which it seems like most of these job postings are just advertisements anyway. So I don't even think they are hiring. Anyways, I could go on for another 5 years about this. Bye.